be good enough for yourself. At the end of the day, that's the only person that will be there for you every single day for the rest of your life. Hi, my name is Marilia, and today I'll be teaching you how to be confident. I'm gonna teach you how to look confident, how to radiate confidence, and how to make others believe it. My credentials are that I've been confident for many years in my day. If you ask my friends how to describe me in 3 words, confident would be the first word in there. Confidence makes the world go round. It is the thing that people are attracted to. They want for job positions, they want in relationships and friendships. People admire people with confidence. To get to the point where you do it without it being a conscious effort, you really need to master it first. So how do you actually get confident? I've had many conversations about confidence and how to achieve it and how do you do it. And the first thing I will tell literally anyone is fake it till you make it. This is the realest piece of advice you can get. Fake it till you make it. That's literally it. Because you know why? Confidence is not real. It's not a thing that you can touch. It's acting. Confidence is acting. So if you act confident, if you act like you're sure in yourself, then people will believe that. And people will treat you as someone with confidence, and that in turn will make you more confident, and it will solidify inside you until you actually are. And when you are, it's over. People are literally just cosplaying being normal, okay? Normal is not a thing. It does not exist. It's just like confidence. It's fake. Act like you're the coolest person on earth, then people will treat you as such. How other people treat you is a reflection of how they perceive you, which is honestly how you perceive yourself and how you treat yourself. Because confidence is fake, your number one enemy here is imposter syndrome, which if you don't know what it is, it's like thinking when you're doing something well or when you're succeeding in any area of your life, there's like this little voice in your head that's like, you don't deserve this, you're faking it, and everyone knows, and you're not good enough, and people won't understand. Like, no, this is your enemy number one, okay? You fight that the death. You do not let imposter syndrome drag you down. Once you let that actually sink in your thoughts, it's over. You can ask the most successful people in the world, they have imposter syndrome, okay? And when you're working on your confidence, that's what's gonna be bringing you down. The next biggest thing that most people are saying, oh, I'm not confident because I'm so insecure about this, and that. Your insecurities, especially your physical ones, are what's holding you back, not in the sense that you can't be confident until you fix them, but in the sense that you can't be confident until you love yourself unconditionally. And I know this sounds like some body positivity, oh, like everyone is beautiful, which, yeah, sure, everyone's beautiful in their own way, but that's not what I'm talking about. I can't be confident until I'm this weight, or until I don't have love handles, or cellulite, or whatever. You know what? That's because I'm telling you right now, if you keep that mindset and lose that weight and, you know, achieve whatever goal you have, you will still not be happy. You know why? Because until you love yourself unconditionally, which unconditionally means without conditions, okay? I'm not gonna love myself when I'm skinny. I'm gonna love myself now, and if I wanna look a certain way, that's okay. It's okay to want to change yourself. What's not okay is not loving yourself until you get to that point. Okay, you'll never be happy because confidence and self-love, they come from within. And if you don't love yourself as you are now, you never will. So what I did, I literally just accepted my body as it is now. This is not like my goal weight or like my dream body or whatever, but you know why? I look amazing. I honestly do. I think I look really good. And you know what? If I looked that way for the rest of my life, I'd be okay with that. I'd be happy with that, you know, because I love my body as it is. Does that mean like, oh, I'm perfect, I never want to change? No, I still have goals, but that doesn't mean I'm going to hold off on loving myself until I reach that goal. Do you know how stupid that sounds? Oh, I'm not going to love myself until I have clear skin. What? Like, are you hearing yourself? You're not gonna love yourself until you have something else? Can you imagine telling that to someone else? Like, can you imagine like telling your mom, you wanna lose weight? Okay, well, when you lose weight, I'm gonna love you, but I don't love you right now because you're not skinny enough for me to love. Can you imagine saying that to anyone else except yourself? That's insane. You need to embrace your insecurities in a way that you just need to stop giving a honestly. That's literally the only way you can put this, right? I had horrible skin. And I remember I did not give Did I wanna live that way forever and never have clear skin? No, but I still didn't give a f. Okay, I'm doing my skincare, I'm taking care of myself, it's gonna clear up at some point, but right now, what can I do about it? Do you want me to just sit in my room and just cry that I have bad skin? No, I didn't. And I would go outside and I would put on my moisturizer and I would be like, I am serving cunt with my acne. I did not give a now. I look at pictures of myself when I had acne and I was happy. I was happy in all of my pictures. Like, I was smiling. I was taking pictures like this because I did not give. And honestly, you know what? That shines through. Okay, what I see now when I see those pictures is not like, oh my god, your acne is so bad. You know what I see? I see a happy, confident person, which makes me happy about myself, and I see how far I've come now. I'm like, oh, look at how clear my skin is now. First of all, therapy, okay? I will say this in every single video I make, go to therapy. Like, unless you can't afford therapy, you have no excuse not to go. Oh, but I don't need, everyone needs therapy. Just go and have the therapist tell you, yeah, you're fine, you don't need therapy. Doesn't matter, you know? Like, literally, unless you can't afford therapy, go to therapy. You can't fix something unless you identify it, unless you get out of denial about it. One thing I have noticed about insecurities is that when you start to unpack them, you start to see where they started from. And no one is born with insecurities, right? Like, can you imagine a baby being like, oh my god, my nose is so big? Like, what? No. Unless you figure out how it starts, you can't defeat it. Because when you figure out that, oh, I've always cared about my nose because my grandmother commented on it when I was young, and you realize where it starts being like not that deep anymore. Like, you're like, oh, okay, well, I mean, it's just a nose. I'm not realize it's not that serious. It was never that serious. Next thing you gotta know, social media is fake, okay? And you don't really know how fake it is until you see it in action. Like, there are some Photoshop fails, but most of the pictures you're gonna see that are edited are not fails, okay? You can't tell. But what you do see is like, oh my god, her skin is so perfect. She doesn't have a single like dimple on her legs, no cellulite, no nothing, no stretch marks. That is Photoshop. Social media overall is really bad for your confidence. I like, every time I go on Instagram specifically, I've stopped scrolling on Instagram because I literally feel like about myself. My point about social media is that, yeah, it's fake, and you need to know that. What I need you to listen to is, don't Photoshop yourself, don't Facetune yourself, don't use like those filters that give you like plastic surgery. Don't do any of that. Please don't do that, because A, it gives you a distorted image of what you look like, which is gonna make you more insecure, and you're gonna get used to that face, which is not your face. And second of all, it looks fake. Like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be honest with you, it looks bad and it makes you look more insecure. To post on pictures like this, like if I go like that, I'm not being fake, I just know how to pose. But it's still me, it's still my face. Along with accepting and embracing those insecurities, also embrace the things you're good at, okay? Like, the things you're talented at, the things you like, the things you're interested in, work on them, nurture them, and put them forward. What if instead of letting your insecurities rule you, you let the things you're good at rule you? Moving on, we're going into the actions segment of this video, which is a very important one because it's how you're gonna start actively being viewed as confident by others, which doesn't matter, but I mean, it kind of matters, you know? The biggest thing you want to do is stop accepting negativity from others about yourself. Stop laughing at jokes at your expense. If what you did was actually bad, people wouldn't need to insult you or make a joke out of it to show you that it's bad. Like, if what you did was actually bad, people would just make a statement and it would be enough, you know? If they can't do that and they need to make a joke out of it, then it's probably not bad enough and you should not take it that seriously. Listen to me, okay? I'm gonna need you to stop. Okay, I'm gonna need you to shut up. Okay? Stop making those jokes. I don't care if you have like dark humor or like self-deprecating. Stop. Just stop. I'm saying this as someone who, like, being funny is like 90% of who I am, like, as a person. And I used to do that a lot, especially in like middle school or in high school, about making jokes at my own expense and making fun of myself. And like, no, stop. Because your brain, first of all, your brain doesn't know other people exist, okay? It doesn't know that. Your subconscious, it doesn't know about other people. So what you say to yourself, as a joke or no joke, doesn't matter. What you say about other people, your brain internalizes all that and is how you view yourself. Stop making fun of other people, stop making fun of yourself, and stop accepting those jokes from other people towards you. If someone makes a joke at your expense, you're like what? Don't laugh. I don't care if it's awkward. They're the one making it awkward, okay? It's not you. You think it's funny that someone is calling you fat, ugly, stupid? No, it's not funny. You know how they possibly got to think that that's an okay thing to do? If you're the one constantly making those jokes about yourself. If you keep making that joke about yourself, people are gonna internalize it, and that's how they're gonna view you from now on, even if they didn't have that belief in the first place. And B, they're gonna think it's okay to make jokes like that because you're making them about yourself. So like, oh, if she's calling herself ugly, I can call her ugly, you know? Like, but is it really that funny? Like, oh my god, I'm so ugly. Like, is that funny? Is that a joke? Now you might be wondering, okay, I've already been doing this for years. How do I stop it? First, stop making those jokes about yourself. You just stop doing it. And if your friend keeps making them, you stop laughing. If they don't get the message, you're like, hey, I don't really like, those jokes anymore. They're not really funny. Like, can you stop? I had a friend, part of her sense of humor was making like mean jokes about everything and everyone. She's not a mean person, right? And it was bothering me because like a lot of those times, those jokes hit a nerve, And I had told her on, I think like a couple of instances, like, this is mean, can you like not make those jokes anymore? And she was a really good friend of mine, she still is. She was like, oh, it's a joke, it's just like, that's my sense of humor, whatever, like blah, blah, blah. But it was still bothering me, right? So at some point, she made like a really not even that mean joke. But at that point, I was like, okay, I've had enough of this. And I got in an actual fight with her. I was like, okay, you know what? I've had enough of you. I've had enough of this joke. Like, it's not funny. I'm not laughing. Stop it. I've told you to cut it off. I told you it bothers me and you keep doing it. You're disrespecting me and I will not tolerate it anymore. She understood that it wasn't funny anymore. Like, oh, she's being serious about this. And she just stopped making those jokes. She stopped. Like, that's simply it. And I remember a couple of years later, she said something funny and I was like, oh, like, hey, friend, I just realized, like, oh, like, your sense of humor has changed so much. You used to like make those mean jokes all the time and now you don't anymore. Like, and she was like, no, I still make those jokes. I just don't make them at you. And I was like, oh, that's how a real friend is gonna react. So to summarize, basically, stop making jokes about yourself in front of other people. Stop laughing at jokes about yourself. Stop accepting jokes or just negativity about you. And you have to be prepared to cut some people off. Like, that's simply it. You just have to put yourself and your peace first. And if someone is disrupting that and they're not getting it, like, if they don't get the hint and if they don't get the clear, like, stop, this is bothering me, then you just cut them off. Like, plain and simple as that. And you're gonna be like, oh, like, I'm gonna lose all my friends. Like, no, like, a person who keeps disrespecting you like that and does not stop no matter what you tell them is not your friend. Not everyone is your friend, okay? Not everyone wants to be your friend. And if you're like me, which I personally, like, I want to believe in the best, like, in the world, and I just want to, like, I think there's good in everyone, and I just think that, like, it's not true. I'm sorry, I had to find out the hard way. Not everyone wants to be your friend. Not everyone who acts like your friend has your best interests in mind, and really need to watch out for how certain people make you feel and when you feel the worst. Because I personally noticed that I used to feel really bad about myself after hanging out with a specific person. I'm like, why? Like, why? Oh, I'm discussing like this interest with this person, and when I discuss it with them, I always feel like stupid and unintelligent and just not good enough, and like, oh, and then I discuss the same interest with my good friends, and like, we might still disagree, but they're never gonna make me feel like about myself or like they're better than me, This one, I just know some of you are gonna say like, oh my god, I can't do that. That's like so embarrassing. Like, it sounds so stupid. Trust me, okay? So instead of, like, remember those jokes we talked about? Like, oh my god, I'm so ugly. Like, I'm so stupid. Like, no. See, what you're gonna do, and this literally changed my life. It sounds like a joke, but I promise you this was like 90% of the work. Start making jokes Like the same jokes in the same situations about how, like, oh my god, I'm so hot, I'm so smart, I'm a genius. Like my thing, which a lot, like everyone knows about me because I just do it all the time. Like whenever people give me compliments, they're like, oh my god, like your makeup looks good. I'm like, I know. Or like, I'm like, oh my god, aren't I like just gorgeous and perfect and amazing? You know, like it's a joke, right? Like, oh, it's so funny. People would tell me that they like me for whatever reason. I'm like, oh, why? Is it because I'm just so hot and sexy and awesome and cool and fun and amazing? And they're like, yeah, you know, because it's a joke. Like, it's still a joke. But wouldn't you rather be joking about how amazing you are instead of being like, oh my god, I'm just so ugly and stupid and gross and unfunny and annoying? Like, no, don't do that. Joke about how cool you are. Like that's literally it. That's literally it. And I did it, like I did it at home, I did it in the mirror. Doing that, this is a part of the fake it till you make it aspect. If you keep making those jokes, your brain starts internalizing it and it's gonna start viewing you as that. And when I tell you, my confidence skyrocketed after doing that, because I've been confident for years, but I haven't been confident all my life, especially in middle school, which was the peak of me making like the so ugly, fat, stupid, annoying jokes, like blah blah blah, I have no friends and blah blah blah. Like, no, just stop doing that, okay? Thanks. When you make so many jokes about yourself like that, it kind of becomes part of your identity and how other people identify you. So like I was known for being like, oh my god, the like I'm gonna KMS girl, or like people would ask me if I was like actually depressed or whatever. I was like my whole personality. And I just realized, like, which something that I'm now struggling to deal with is dealing with the fact that I'm actually like a really happy and positive person who just enjoys things and enjoys life. And I'm like, holy, my whole identity has shifted, because I was this person who was always like thinking about death and like these nasty, ugly, annoying things. And now I'm just like, I'm just a really happy person. I'm telling you right now that I've experienced both. I would choose being a happy, positive person over being like that 100%. I would choose that. It's easiest choice I've ever made. Okay, next thing in the actions you need to take is, I know this is gonna be hard, but it's necessary. Stop asking other people about their opinions on the things you do, on the things you want to do. Stop asking people like, oh, which picture should I post, or does this outfit look good, or what do you think about this? Like, can you imagine if I asked people like, should I start a YouTube channel? They're gonna be like, oh my god, no, that's so cringe. I told no one. They can find out about it when I'm rich and famous and awesome and cool, which I already am. Like, see, this is the kind of joke I'm talking about. I could have made a joke being like, oh my god, I'm just so cringe and annoying, like no one's gonna watch my like, why would I make that joke? Why is that funny? The reason why you should not ask people of their opinions and frankly not care about their opinions is because that makes you dependent on external validation. And honestly, any validation other than self-validation is just gonna you up. Honestly, it has nothing to offer you. It's temporary. And it only makes you desperate for more, because you know you can't control it. You know what you can control? Self-validation. You only need to be good enough for yourself. You don't need to be good enough for your parents, for your friends, for your teachers, for men, for women. Be good enough for yourself, because at the end of the day, that's the only person that you will be there for you every single day for the rest of your life. People come and go, okay? You can't depend on other people to feel good about yourself. You just can't, because it's not gonna last forever, okay? Your looks won't last forever. Depend on your own validation. Stop caring about likes and views and comments and people replying to your story and being like, oh my god, you're so hot and beautiful. Like, I think I'm hot and beautiful. If other people tell me, I'm like, yeah, I know, you know? I don't need them to tell me that. It's nice when they do, but I don't need that, because I think I look good all by myself, okay? I look good, and I can just look good and not take a picture and post it online, because I know I look good. I'm enjoying it. You can just look good for yourself. You really want to nurture your own interests and your own skills, and you really just want to focus on yourself. Stop trying to go with the masses and just like what everyone else likes and be good at what everyone else is good at. Just find the things you're interested in, the things you're good at, and work on those, or work on adding more interest. If you become more interesting to yourself, you will become more interesting to other people. And being interesting makes you confident because you're like, oh my God, everyone wants to talk to me. I'm just like so interesting. Which, like I said, you should not depend on that external validation to feel good about yourself, but it helps. It helps especially in those first stages where you're like faking your confidence, because it's gonna like solidify it a little bit. Real true confidence comes from within, but it certainly helps, and it also helps fight against that imposter syndrome that I talked about earlier. Another one of those things that it really helped me, but I don't know, it's not really like common. So what I did is I made like a goddess perfect, like not perfect. Perfect is a bad word, remember that. You don't want to be perfect, just want to be like the best version of yourself, which is still not perfect, right? So I made this like, okay, what would like the best version of myself be like? I made this person and I gave her a name, and now I just treat her like my big sister. And I talk to her, I ask her for advice, because honestly, every single question you have can be answered by you. Like, it really is within you. Honestly, everything comes from within, and if you really sit and think about it, you have those answers. But it's really helpful if someone else is giving you those answers. I'm like, oh my God, you're so right, I should do that. Because you, like, most of the time, you know how to solve a problem, or you know how to achieve what you want to achieve, but you just don't want to do it. And I know that sounds harsh, but that's the truth, like honestly. Now, let's get into the more superficial physical aspect of confidence. So the first thing you really want to do, it's really important, right? No matter what you're wearing, no matter where you're going, posture is your best friend when it comes to confidence. So you want to walk with shoulders back. Never look on the ground, never look at the ground. Like, you're never gonna walk around like this. No, you're gonna look straight ahead, or you're gonna look up. Chin is gonna be like either here or here, but you're gonna look straight and up, okay? And you're gonna walk, you're gonna stomp, you're gonna like literally you're gonna stomp wherever I don't care if you're going to the grocery store, you're gonna stomp your way in there, okay? You're gonna like run away, walk. I used to have this thing that I would like repeat to myself. It was like an affirmation sort of. I'd be like, the world was her runway, because I just like walked around like I was on a runway. You know how good that makes you? Like, it makes you feel really good, but also makes you look really good, and you're like fierce. Yeah. You know, helps with that is music. So music is really important for confidence in two different aspects. So it helps with like the stomping runway thing. So if you have a nice playlist like songs, it really helps you keep that up. But it's also really important to watch for what music you listen to, because you internalize that. So if you're gonna listen to sad music all the time, or music about hating yourself, it's not really gonna help you feel better. Next thing for the looks is you really want to take care of yourself, because when you take care of yourself, you view yourself as someone who is worth taking care of. So if you don't even take care of yourself, how do you expect other people to treat you if you don't even think you're worth enough to like put nice clothes on? You know, you need to look good. I have a video coming up about how to look good, which I'm really excited about. I'm working on it. It's gonna be really great. But you really need to look good for yourself. Again, look, I don't care where you're going, look good. The other day I went out like solely to pick up a package. I put an outfit on, I put a whole bunch of jewelry, I did my makeup, I did my hair, and on my way back to the house, because I literally just walked to the thing, got my box, and then walked back to the house, stopped to get like some juice or whatever, and the lady at the register was like, oh, did you have fun, like, oh, out for like with friends or whatever? And I was like, oh yeah, like people don't know where you're going, so what is it wrong to serve some looks? You don't know who you're gonna run into. You know how good it feels to walk by a mirror and look at yourself and be like, oh my God, like that's me, wow, like that is a confidence boost, if anything. My final piece of advice to end this video is to remember that it's like, at the end of the day, it's not that serious. It was never that serious. It's never that deep. Embarrassment and fear of failure and like fear of cringe is what kills confidence. And as Valkyrie said, don't kill the part of you that is cringe, kill that part that cringes. Embarrassment is fake. Embarrassment is a construct. You can't be embarrassed unless you make yourself embarrassed. Like, you can do embarrassing and still not like, because remember, it's not that serious. So for me, I was out for dinner with one of my friends and I was like showing her something. I was holding my phone, like snatched it like that to like show something, and literally flew, hit the window behind me and fell down on our table. Like, and the entire restaurant turned around and looked at me. Can you imagine if I had just been like, oh my god, that's so embarrassing. Oh my, like, no, it was like, I looked at the people at the restaurant. I was like, don't worry, we're fine. And then I turned back to my friend and continued to talk about whatever I was talking about with the same excitement. And everyone just moved on. No one gave, like, because it's not that serious. At the end of the day, it's not that serious. Like, you're human, you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna trip and fall downstairs. Like, embarrassing things are gonna happen to you, but you can't let that stop you from living your life or from being confident. You know, if other people try to make you feel embarrassed, be like, what? Like, it's not that, like, okay. Like, act like they're weird for thinking that it's embarrassing, or laugh along with them. But one of the things you're gonna hear a lot about like embarrassment is people are gonna say like, oh, laugh at yourself. Don't mock yourself. Laugh, get up, move on, as if nothing happened. Don't make yourself the butt of the joke. You're not the joke, okay? Thank you so much for watching my first video. I am so happy and so proud I made it. I really hope it helped you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed my content, because I have some really good stuff coming up. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, because I really want to hear your input. And if there's anything else you want me to talk about, if there's anything else you need advice on, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye. This lighting is incredible. Should have filmed the whole video like this. Ooh.